Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you don't know who I am, I'm Brianna, and today I'm very excited for this reading vlog because we are going to be reading new releases. I do think that most of the books I have on my radar for this video are romance books, but we might have other potential genres in there like fantasy or thriller, but it'll most likely be romance because let's be real, it is May. We're getting into the summer months, even though it's not technically summer until like June 20 something. It feels like summer, right? And I just think that romance reading is perfect for the spring or summertime, so that is probably what we'll be doing in this video. I have some early release copies of books or just books that have come out recently. April had so many book releases, so by the time you're seeing this, I think most of these books will probably be out already, but otherwise I have ARCs. And yeah, my reading vlogs, if you've never seen them before, are spoiler free, of course, as always, and I will just read the book. I'll give you updates about how I'm feeling about it, what it's about, and then give you my total review of it, all of my thoughts at the end of the book. And then I do a little recap at the end of the video about all of the books that I read, what I rate them, would I recommend them, all that jazz. So let's get into this video. The first book I will be reading for today's video is What Happens in Amsterdam by Rachel Lynn Solomon, and I actually already started this one a little bit because I just could not wait. I mean, just look at this cover and tell me it doesn't scream spring and summertime. And this one I'm pretty sure comes out tomorrow for me, but by the time this video is up, it should be out. This is an early copy I got from Berkeley Publishing, so thank you, Berkeley, if you're seeing this. And since I have already started this one, I can tell you guys a little bit about what it's about, since I like to go into my books more blindly. But obviously I know you guys watching this reading vlog, you're probably like, well, we want to know what the book is about so we know if we want to read it or not. I totally get that, so let me tell you what it's about. This book is about 30-year-old Danny, and she has just moved from LA to Amsterdam because she has just gotten out of a very bad relationship. Like, he was cheating on her, and also she just wants something new. She feels like her life is kind of in a rut, and she's always wanted to go to Amsterdam. And one of the reasons for this is because in high school, there was a boy from Amsterdam who was living with her and her family as a foreign exchange student. So now that Danny has landed a job in Amsterdam, she ends up running into said boy, Wouter, I'm pretty sure is how you say his name. And fun fact, they were actually romantically involved when he was an exchange student living with her in their teenage years. They also had a really bad breakup back when they were 17 years old. He basically just ghosted her. He was like, nope, I'm going back to Amsterdam. This isn't gonna work out, and that crushed her. So now she's back in Amsterdam and she needs a place to live, so he owns this building and he is going to let her rent out a space there, so now he's her landlord. But now, get this, the tech startup company that Danny started working for in Amsterdam and able to obtain her work visa to live there, yeah, that company is going under, so now Danny does not have a job and she has 90 days to get her visa so that she can stay in Amsterdam because she really has no desire to move back to LA. And Wouter also wants to inherit this building that he is currently working for that his grandmother owns, but before she gives it to him, she wants him to be married. So Wouter suggests to Danny that they get married so that it can solve both of their problems here. Danny is like, no, that's absolutely insane, but then she starts thinking about it and she's like, okay, let's do it. So this is a second chance romance, marriage of convenience, and yeah, I am just so excited to get more into this. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's go read some more. Alrighty, it is time for an update on what happens in Amsterdam. It is the next day, and you're probably like, oh, it must be morning. She's in a robe. No, it's actually like 2 in the afternoon. I was just laying outside in the sun, though, getting a suntan, so I just have my swimsuit on under this, basically. So I just wanted to throw this on quick so I could give you a little update on what happens in Amsterdam, since I have been reading this while I'm outside tanning. I am on page 201. I think there's like 330-ish pages. So I feel like it's going really, really fast. Like, it just feels so fast-paced. It grabbed my attention right away and never really let go of it. The whole thing is just through Danny's POV, and I feel like that kind of helps me when books aren't dual POV. Don't get me wrong, I love a good dual POV book so we can get inside of the head of both characters, see where they're both at. But honestly, I feel like dual POV kind of causes some miscommunication sometimes, because you can see into both of their heads, and then if they're like not on the same page about something, you just know as the reader, but like they don't know as the characters, and sometimes it's frustrating. So I feel like I get through single POVs a lot quicker than dual POVs. Like, for example, I have been reading Beg, Borrow, or Steal for a week. Well, first of all, that one just did not grab my attention whatsoever. I think it's pretty boring, and it's dual POV, bouncing back and forth a lot, and I just don't love that. So the fact that this one is just Danny's POV, I feel like I'm flying through it. But things are finally starting to heat up between Danny and Wouter a little bit. Other than that, it's like pretty slow burn, because like they are exes, but they're still attracted to each other. But like they don't want to act on their attraction or their feelings, because obviously they were together before and it didn't work out. They don't want their feelings hurt again. And also, this is just supposed to be a marriage of convenience. So like it makes sense that they wouldn't actually want to be involved with each other. But I really like Wouter. He seems like a really sweet love interest, which again, we don't get to see inside his head what he is thinking. But I feel like I can just tell he's a sweet guy, right? I am loving the setting of Amsterdam. I've never been to Amsterdam. That would be like a bucket list location for me to visit one day. But I do think it's really interesting. They are like speaking in Dutch here and there. Danny is learning Dutch, and I'm actually my part Danish. I think I'm part Danish, so just like that's interesting. And I also do speak a little bit of German, so I feel like Dutch and German are pretty similar. If I'm totally wrong about that, let me know, but just from like what I'm gathering from some of the words in this book, I feel like it's pretty similar to German. So yeah, this is really, really cute. The perfect beach read. Like, I've just been laying in my yard tanning, but this would be amazing on the beach. My husband and I are looking into booking a trip to Hawaii this summer. And the whole time I've been reading this, I've just been like picturing myself on a beach in Hawaii reading it. So yeah, I just wanted to come at you with a little update. I'm definitely enjoying it, and I'm gonna go read some more. I don't know when you'll see me next, because like I'm probably gonna go read outside some more, and I'm not covered in these areas, so we'll see though. I'll probably be back with my final update. Alright guys, it is a little while later. I'm looking a little bit more normal and put together, and I finished What Happens in Amsterdam. So I thought I'd give you my final overall thoughts on it. It was really cute. I will say that right away. Like, it was really cute. It was a good read. Definitely not like my favorite romance book ever, but it is a perfect little fluffy romance palette cleanser. It definitely got me out of this kind of slump that I've been in, because I haven't really been feeling the books that I'm currently reading. So this one, I finished so quickly. Like, you can literally read it within 24 hours. Like, you could read this in one sitting. It is so fast-paced, such a simple read, really, really cutesy, really fluffy, really fun. Some funny things here and there, some romance, some spice. It's got a little bit of everything. I will say there was a third act conflict, and I hate third act conflicts or like miscommunication or breakups that I just feel like are so unnecessary. Like, the characters are grown adults. Why can't they act like it? That is how I feel when there's any third act conflict of any sort that's just like unnecessary drama. So you saw my reaction to that. But other than that, it was pretty good. One thing that kind of stuck with me, like, not even regarding the two main characters and like their relationship, but when they're going somewhere, they're going to this city, and Danny is like, oh, this is like a city, it looks like a village. And Wouter is like, yeah, it's a city, not a town. Like, I know they only have a population of 30,000, but they have street lights and they're really proud of it. And I'm like, excuse me? I grew up in two towns, basically. One of them has a population of like 500, and then the other one has a population of like 2,000. And we have like city lights, street lights. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, do big cities not have street lights in Amsterdam? I just think it's so funny when in books they're like, oh yeah, it's a super small town of like population 20,000, and I'm like, you do not know small town. Like, I am in small town, middle of nowhere in Minnesota. So there's a reason I gotta drive an hour to the nearest Barnes and Noble, okay? But yeah, I would recommend this if you're looking for just like a cutesy little romance, but again, it's not gonna be like a life-altering romance book. So first book of reading new releases turned out good. This one should be out now, so go pick it up. And I'll probably see you guys tomorrow when I start another book, because I'm probably gonna be busy the rest of the night. I'm going golfing with my husband, and by I'm going golfing, I mean I'm gonna sit in the golf cart and read, but probably not like read a book for this video. I'm gonna try and finish Beg, Borrow, or Steal, because I've been reading it for a week and that's just too long for a romance book, so wish me luck. But yeah, I'll probably see you tomorrow with a new release. Hi guys, it is the next day. It is actually pretty late in the next day. It is actually like a late afternoon getting into nighttime. That's how late it is in the day. But I did start Deep Cuts this morning. You saw me pick this one out to start reading for the day. And honestly, I'm not too far in. I think I'm on page 82. Yeah, 82. And it's a fairly short book. I think it's around 270 pages. So definitely not a super long book. So it's like a decent way into the book, but just like objectively speaking, 80 pages isn't a ton for me, considering I started this morning and it's now gonna be nighttime. So I have just had like one of those days. I struggle with some mental health issues, and my anxiety and depression has been kind of bad today. Not like severe or anything, but it's definitely just one of those days. And a lot of the times when I read, I am trying to read to like disassociate from the real world and escape my reality a little bit, get out of my own head for a little bit. But sometimes when I'm in these moods, it's like all I can do is dwell on things and cry. So that's what today was, instead of being able to like push past it and not think about it. Like, it was just a tough day in that aspect. So yeah, that's why I haven't gotten a ton of reading done. And then I also found myself like having to reread what I had already read because I was reading, but it's like I wasn't actually reading. I was just thinking about things and dwelling on those things. So then I'd be like, okay, I literally didn't read that page at all. So I would go back and read it. Runty, what are you doing? Runty, do you want to say hi? This is Runty, everyone. If you're new here, this is my blind baby. He's actually not really a baby anymore. How old are you, Runty? Oh my gosh, you're 8? You're gonna be 8? Yeah. This reading update on deep cuts is getting so sidetracked by everything. Just me talking about my mental health, me showing you my cat, but like, I'm always going to be real with you guys here. I'm very open about everything. Like, I want to be able to be a real human on here and not just like a reading robot. Yes, I love to read. That's what I do in the majority of my free time. And that's what this channel is, like a channel dedicated to my love of books and my love of reading. But like also, I just like being kind of chill and just like vlogging my everyday. Runty, what you doing? She don't know what she's doing. Another side note, since it is getting into the warmer months, at least here in Minnesota, like it's finally starting to warm up. Today was a bit chilly again, but the last few days have been like 70-ish. So I've been wearing just like tinted moisturizer instead of any other makeup, and I just am so happy with that because I hate wearing like real makeup because it feels just like so heavy, and you're probably like, why don't you just wear your tinted moisturizer year round? I just associate it with summer, okay? I don't know what to tell you. It's like, I think I forget about it, and then once it gets warm, I'm like, oh, I need to wear sunscreen on my face every day, even though like I should be wearing sunscreen even in the winter, because in Minnesota, we get so much snow, and the sun reflecting off of the snow can actually be very damaging for your skin as well. Yeah, we are getting so off topic. Okay, let's just talk about deep cuts, what I have so far, okay? So this book is about Percy. Okay, as I was saying, this book is about Percy. Can I speak? This book is about Percy. Oh my goodness. And she is speak clearly, speak right, enunciate properly. Okay, fifth time's the charm. Deep Cuts follows Percy, who is a student at Berkeley, and I think she is an English major, but she actually loves music. Like, she loves songwriting. She's not like a musician herself or a singer herself, but she just loves kind of analyzing music. So she becomes friends with Joe and Zoe, and Joe is the singer and songwriter, so she kind of helps him write songs based on like their combined interest in music tastes. And it's been honestly just like literary fiction. We're just now getting to some romance between Joe and Percy. But yeah, it's basically just following them throughout college and writing these songs together, and like the drama between the friendship and everything and the relationship. And I think it's definitely gonna get more messy now that there's gonna be romance involved, because it's kind of giving like Daisy Jones and the Six, where they're in this band together, but like once they have these feelings for each other, then that just like gets in the way of everything and messes up everything. So I have a feeling that's what this one's gonna be like. I don't really like Percy as a character, honestly. She's very pretentious, very snobby, just like the characters in the book keep calling her annoying, and I'm like, yeah, she's annoying. So like, she's supposed to be an unlikable character, I think. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I just dislike her. But yeah, she's not my favorite. We'll see how things go. And also, I know this is the author's debut novel, And I'm not sure if I'm loving the writing style. It just seems very clunky to me right now. Again, we'll see if it kind of gets better throughout the book, but as of right now, it's just a little bit hard for me to read and want to pick up because of the style of it, and also because I don't love the main character that we're following. I was really excited for this book because I have seen people say if you love The Favorites by Lane Fargo, you're gonna love this, and The Favorites by Lane Fargo is one of my favorite books ever. So don't know what's going on here. Maybe I'm just like not in the right mind or like headspace because I'm kind of in a funk today. So I'm gonna try and read a little bit more tonight and then hopefully finish it up tomorrow. So yeah, that's my update on the book and just other random stuff going on in my life. I hope you enjoyed. I will be back with another update. Okay, it is the next day and I did end up finishing Deep Cuts today. Again, I am, finishing it pretty late in the day considering how short of a book it is. Again, it's like 270 pages and it definitely should not have taken me this long to read, but today when I was reading it, I just could not focus whatsoever because last night my husband and I actually booked a trip to Hawaii. So we're going to Hawaii in June. Yeah, June as in next month. So that is crazy. If you want like a life update and everything on that, go check out my TikToks because I'm gonna start doing more like vlog styles and just like chit chats on there. So I could not really focus on Deep Cuts today that much because I am just like so excited about Hawaii. I'm also very nervous. I was like doing research into what we want to do, and yeah, that was where my head was at today. So honestly, I probably didn't give Deep Cuts the appropriate attention that it deserved just because my brain was like all over the place yesterday when I started it and then today when I continued it and finished the rest of it. But I actually did really end up enjoying this more than I was thinking that I would. It continues to follow Percy throughout years of her life, really, as she is always kind of in this up and down relationship with Joe because Joe is this musician and he's this singer and Percy helps him write the songs for his band, right? But she's never really given like proper, what is the word I'm looking for? Like credit to his songs basically. And they're just like always really in and out of each other's lives. They're always kind of on and off, even though they're not really like a couple per se, but they're definitely attracted to each other. There's definitely feelings there and there's definitely love there of a sort, but it's just like a really interesting dynamic of a relationship. Honestly, like my favorite parts of the book were seeing them work on songs together and kind of like have this conflict with each other. And honestly, just always seeing them come back to each other, like no matter what it is. There can be 10 things that they do to each other, but they always somehow find their way back to each other. And I love books like that where it's like they will find each other over and over and over again, even if it kills them. Like if it drives them crazy, if it drives them mad. That is what Percy and Joe are like in this book. The other parts of the book I didn't really love. I found quite boring at times. And I mean, I think those moments are supposed to be showing Percy's own growth, like in her career and just her as a person. But like, she's still kind of an insufferable, annoying character by the end of the book. So I'm like, okay, what did that really do then? Not much. As for the actual writing, and take this with a grain of salt because I am no writer, I'm no author. I am critiquing this as a reader. I feel like this author could definitely improve upon her writing. It feels kind of like a tongue twister to read. And there's also just like the dialogue overall, not the best. And there were literally some points in the book where I did not know who was talking. I was like, is Percy talking, or who is Percy talking to? Because it doesn't even say. So I'm just like, the words are just like so jumbly, and it just feels like word vomit at times because it's just like thrown in there. It's like, we don't need metaphor after metaphor after metaphor. That is when it gets clunky and like it's too much. It also just feels like this author, I don't know, wanted to be a music critic and is just like writing her knowledge about these songs and her opinions about these songs. I'm like, okay, is that why you wrote this book? Or like, is the inspiration for Percy's character taken from you? I don't know. It is in no means a bad book. Again, take that with a grain of salt because I'm no writer. And I am gonna give it a 3-star rating. Like, it was good. It was definitely entertaining. Could it have entertained me more at points? Yes. Could it have held my attention more at points? Also, yes. Could the characters probably be written better so there's actually some real character growth and development? Yes. But overall, I do enjoy the story and the plot, the whole premise. I will say it is a pretty slow start, so if you are going to pick it up, I would warn you about that. I didn't really get like sucked into it until about 100 pages in. And then that like 100 to 200 page marks, it had those like slow moments in there again, but it also had some moments that I really enjoyed. So I always feel like the good outweighs the bad. Really liked and like could not put it down at all for the last 50 pages. Again, I said this yesterday, but it does feel a lot more literary fiction with like a romance subplot, but I did enjoy the romance that was in it. So if that sounds interesting to you, and like if you can deal with it being a little bit slower and having some slow points within, I would recommend it. Honestly, guys, I am probably just gonna make supper because it is supper time, and then I am probably just going to like look at stuff for Hawaii with my husband for the rest of the night and just like do stuff with him. So I am going to start the next book for this video tomorrow, so I'll see you then. Alrighty, it is the next day and I have started another book. I will insert a picture of it because it's actually an e-arc that I'm reading on my Kindle, and it is Not Safe for Work by... Okay, I don't see the author's name and I don't want to like butcher it or get it wrong, but it's the same author as the Trial of the Sun Queen series. I have not read that series yet, but that is a romantasy series that I really want to read soon. So when I got an arc of her romance book, Not Safe for Work, sent to me, I was super excited. It's been on my radar for a few months when I learned it was coming out later this month, and I just thought it looked so fun and so summery. And when I say summery in that context, I mean summer, the season, like. But when I read the summary, like the synopsis of the book, I read that it is like an enemies to lovers workplace romance where the main character and her arch nemesis at work have to go to a remote island for this like conference together for work. And I was like, okay, sounds awesome, sounds great. It's giving The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, and I absolutely loved that book. I think I read it in 2021, like 4 years ago at this point, but I loved it, and that was one of the books that kind of got me back into reading when I was fresh out of high school. So it was giving me the same vibes as that. I also just love enemies to lovers in the first place, and again, I thought it would be a great spring into summer read. And I started reading it, and guess what island they're going to? Like what this remote island is? Maui. Yep, Maui, Hawaii, which is where my husband and I are going next month. And I was like, what a coincidence. Like when the synopsis said a remote island, I was like, okay, that could be anywhere. That could be any island, anywhere, no idea. But no, it's Maui. Like, what are the odds of me picking up this book a few days after my husband and I book our own trip to Maui? This honestly would have been like a perfect book to read on the plane ride there or on the beach there, but I have an arc of it, so I was like, I want to read it now. And honestly, it's just kind of getting me excited for Maui. Not that I wasn't already excited, but I was more so like anxious and nervous before, but now I'm like getting more excited. Anywho's, I haven't even told you what the book is about yet. It follows our main character, Tris, and she is an engineer at, I don't remember what the name of the company is, but basically it is like a male-dominated career field already, and where she works for is male-dominated, and she is a woman of color, so that makes it even harder for her. It's just kind of like a toxic environment for her overall, because she has accomplished so much more, yet these white men will get like promotions and opportunities before her. But now she gets to go on this like conference trip, or I don't know if it's a conference per se, but some annual work trip that they do for like the rising stars of the company. So her arch nemesis, Raph, or Rafe, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I've just been calling him Raph, but he is the CEO's son, and he is chosen as one of the people to go. And then Tris is also chosen to go, and she is like, I don't know why I'm being chosen instead of like another white guy, but she takes it, she runs with it, but she's not happy that she has to go there with Raph, her arch nemesis. And there was a mix-up with the booking, so when they get there, they are booked into the same hotel suite, and the hotel is fully booked, so they can't get separate rooms. And to make matters worse, on top of that, there's only one bed in the room. So you have classic enemies to lovers here, but it is pretty slow burn. Like, I am 52% of the way through, and there's been like some attractiveness to each other, and also like spicy thoughts, but there haven't been any like spicy actions or spicy scenes yet. They still basically hate each other at this point. They're like slowly starting to open up to each other, but they still hate each other. So I haven't read a good slow burn like this where there's been like no romance whatsoever this far along in a while, so it's kind of refreshing, honestly. It is super fast paced. Like, this is my first book by this author, and this makes me want to read her other series even more because I'm really liking her writing style. I like how fast paced and like easy flowing it is, but also really entertaining. Like, the banter and the tension between these two, love it. I love it every time, but this is especially good. It has great summer vibes. Again, like, they're in Maui. Amazing. You can tell that he kind of like cares for Tris, but Tris doesn't think he likes her at all, so it's kind of a weird dynamic, but it's getting good. It's also fairly short. I mean, I have an hour and 57 minutes left of the book according to my Kindle, and I'm 52%, so that's like 4 hours total of reading. So super quick, super short, little fluffy book. But that being said, even though it does just seem like a fluffy romance, there's definitely important discussions being had, like Tris being a woman in color in the engineering field and how hard that can be. There has been talk of like sexual harassment in the workplace. So definitely bigger, important things there that I think are kind of going to break through more later. And then Raph also has issues with his dad. I don't know what exactly they are yet, but you can definitely tell that he does not have a good relationship with his dad, and I think that's really interesting since his dad is the CEO or the boss where they work. And yeah, it's just kind of odd. So I'm gonna keep reading, and I will update you probably when I finish it because there's not too much of this book left. Alrighty, I just finished Not Safe for Work. Also, this does come out May, oh gosh, I will put on the screen when it comes out. I think it's like either May 20th or May 25th. But it does come out in like a week or two. So not out yet, but I would recommend this one for when it comes out, just based on like the vibes alone. It is such perfect, fun, summery romance vibes. Like the chemistry is there between Tris and Raph, and I just love them both. Like Tris is such a strong, independent woman who still like, she tries to shelter herself from being hurt and also from like issues with the workplace. And overall, like, she wants to be a strong woman, but she also wants to be loved and to love someone. And I think that is really beautiful, to kind of have the balance of both. Like, you can be a strong woman and you can still like be a dainty, feminine woman who wants love. I don't think there's anything wrong with that whatsoever. And I really love how she just sticks up for herself and her beliefs, especially when it comes to the workplace and all the issues that she has there. And yeah, it's honestly kind of inspiring. And then Raph, I also love. He has like this soft side to him, even though Tris has thought he's just like this brooding man for the last 5 years that she's worked with him, and she thought that he didn't like her at all. And it's just so funny when you actually see him open up and how him and Tris interact, and just kind of how he was also like sheltering himself from being hurt. They're so cute. It was pretty spicy. Like, once it's not a slow burn anymore and stuff actually happens, there are quite a few spice scenes, but I feel like they're done pretty well. They're not like overly descriptive and kind of like cringy like that. Like, the author gets to the point. Like, her writing is very simple, but it gets the job done. I really liked Raph. I loved how he treated Tris. He was always pretty open and honest with her. Like, once they got to this retreat on Hawaii, he had always kind of kept his distance at work, and she had kept her distance from him at work because, again, they're enemies. But once they actually like have this forced proximity in this hotel together on the retreat, and you can see how they open up and actually get to know each other and slowly let each other in a little bit to have this sort of friendship. And then obviously they're attracted to each other, so more of that romance comes in later. I ate it up. What can I say? Like, I literally could have read it in one sitting yesterday. Super simple, super quick and easy read. I give it a 4-star rating. Like, if you want just fun, flirty, steamy, summery vibes, this book will get the job done for sure. There were some moments where I was a little bit annoyed with Tris, just because she wouldn't like hear Raph out about things, and that was just so frustrating that she wouldn't like sit down and have discussions with him. She would just kind of close him out when something, like, there was a conflict like within their relationship, not having to do with Tris and Raph, but another person in Raph's life that was kind of like coming between Tris and Raph. So with that conflict there, it seems like Tris just always kind of pushed it away and didn't like try and deal with it, when Raph was trying to like talk to her and deal with it with Tris. So that did annoy me at some points with Tris. But also, like, I can understand why she was kind of being that way, because she didn't want to get her heart broken. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. This is definitely my favorite read of this video, which brings me to the point that this video is now over after I have read my 3 books. So let's do a quick little recap of the other books I read. I started it off with What Happens in Amsterdam, and this was another super cute and fluffy, great vibes for a read. It takes place in Amsterdam, obviously, and this is a second chance marriage of convenience romance, and it was really cute. I gave this 3.5 stars, and I would definitely recommend it for spring or summer reading. And then I read Deep Cuts, and this one definitely feels more so just like literary fiction, maybe contemporary fiction, with just like a dash of romance in there. And it was quite boring for me at times, other than when it was like actively talking about the music and Percy and Joe creating the music together. I was like, I literally don't care about anything else. Like, give me more of Percy and Joe, not this other random filler about Percy. Like, sorry, Percy, I don't care about that. So I give this a 3-star rating. It definitely started picking up more for me at the end, but I can definitely see how people would just think this is kind of boring and repetitive. And obviously, I just told you all of my thoughts about Not Safe for Work, which, by the way, is definitely not safe for work. There is some explicit content in that one. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this reading vlog. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel to continue to support me. Make sure to comment any other videos you want to see from me in the future. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Bye!